Good day, everyone. Welcome to Real Conservative Headline News. I'm your host, Nathaniel Rajkumar. Starting off locally here in Trinidad and Tobago, Minister in the Ministry of Health, Dr. Rashad Sitran, said the government's aim is to make the Couva Children's Hospital one of the most advanced healthcare facilities in the entire country. That should have been the case for the throughout this past 10 years, but PNM decided not to do so. It's really sad. The minister gave an update on the healthcare facility following the recent visit of a high-level delegation from the United Arab Emirates. I hope they invest. Led by Minister of State at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Nora Al-Kabi, to Trinidad and Tobago. Give credit when credit is due. And I keep saying this over and over again. Even though I disagree with a lot of the policy decisions made by the Kamala Prasad administration, you know one thing for sure. In spite of all these increased taxes and fines and so forth, and other controversial statements being made, they're going to ensure that the healthcare sector is improved. Infrastructure is definitely improved. Trinidad and Tobago's energy industry will be revived, and therefore the economy, to an extent, even though the purchasing power is still lacking here in Trinidad and Tobago because of the salaries, we don't have adequate salaries for individuals in the public sector and even in the private sector. But at the end of the day, the country will recover. But is that sufficient for them to be able to win again in 2030?
So it was a great pleasure to meet the minister as well as the entire team. And they were such nice people. I mean, they were so embracing and warm and kind. And it was an absolute pleasure to be in their presence. And Minister Lakram Bodo, myself, as well as a delegation from the Ministry of Health, we had the absolute pleasure, as well as Minister Jolene John, through her capacity under UDCOT, as well as Minister Saddam Hussein. We actually went on a tour of the Couva Hospital with her and her team, and she saw the entire facility. We went through each unit by unit. She saw the equipment, she saw the potential for the facility. And, you know, so we are asking our international partners to assist us in the rebuilding or upgrading of the hospital. It was the most advanced facility in 2015, but we want it to be the most advanced facility in 2025. So we are looking at them to assist us with the sterilization and central sterile services department. We are asking them to help us upgrade our operating theaters, as well as our diagnostic imaging capability, which is radiology and imaging, as well as our laboratory services. A lot of this is equipment we are asking for, as well as our blood services, as well as an upgrade of our critical care units, the ICU and the HDU units, as well as any ancillary services that they may help us provide. The idea being, in the future, is to see, you know, how best they could partner with us to bring this hospital back fully online. That's right. And for the taxpayers of Trinidad and Tobago not to bear the entire burden.
Chief Secretary Fali Augustine is assuring that the issues involving the newly acquired MV Blue Wave Harmony and the TNT Spirit are being addressed. He's calling for patience as the matter is being resolved. I just find it a little strange, though, but how that happened so soon after the boat was recently purchased and brought into operation? Was that sabotage? I don't know. I'm just wondering, people. I just wondering. You could never do outside here.
Good afternoon to the people of Tobago and Trinidad. I'm currently on the fast ferry heading back home after a beautiful weekend in Trinidad with my family. And I just wanted to talk to you directly about the recent challenges at the port in Scarborough. As many of you are aware, we have faced a difficult string of incidents and, unfortunately, accidents. The recently acquired Blue Wave Harmony and the TNT Spirit have both sustained damage following occurrences at the dock in town. Citizens were frustrated, to say the least, by being trapped on the ferry in Tobago for some long hours, and that should not have happened. It seems Murphy's Law has taken up residence at the port lately. Whatever could go wrong, unfortunately, has. Now, NIDCO's technical teams are working around the clock to assess the impact and to ensure our sea bridge remains reliable. One of the most disappointing consequences of these logistical hurdles is a challenge to hosting the medium band finals in Tobago. So discussions are well underway between TRINIDAD, NIDCO, the port, and so forth. And I'm sure you will hear from TRINIDAD soon. I know how much our PAN community and culture lovers, the THA itself, have been preparing to host this staple event on home soil. So it is indeed frustrating. More than that, the continued impact on commerce and our citizens cannot go unnoticed. I am therefore asking for your grace and your patience as we in the THA continue to push and push and push and work along with the Ministry of Works in Trinidad and Minister John, who has been very kind to us, to get these repairs done expeditiously so we can return to normalcy. We are committed to transparency, and NIDCO, the Ministry, TRINIDAD, THA, and all other agencies will provide further updates as soon as full assessments are in. So let me stay focused on the spirit of the season and full joy the season while we resolve these infrastructure issues. Meanwhile, safe travels on the sea bridge over the coming days, and we look forward to soon having the service fully operational. Thank you. God bless you. Have a productive week ahead.
The Trinidad and Tobago Manufacturers Association supports the government's goal of doubling non-energy exports. In a press release, the TTMA noted that the move aligns fully with the association's strategic focus. It's all about diversification, I would say. The TTMA pledges to continue partnering with the government to expand market access, build resilience, and grow foreign exchange earnings, while calling for faster ease of doing business reforms, including customs and digitization and regulatory modernization. The association said it remains committed to balance sustainable national growth alongside energy sector revitalization. Yes, but I will say it again. Prime Minister Kamala Persad, you made a promise not to place the financial burden upon the backs of citizens. Please turn back to the traditional way of UNC forms of governance. Reduce those fines and fees and so forth before it's too late. And when I say before it's too late, I mean before 2030. A matter of fact, you should do it before the end of 2026, because Trinidadians tend to hold things in memory for a long time if they so want to do so. A lot of things, basically, they do forget quickly too. But we're talking about, you see, when it pertains to UNC, they remember it for a lifetime. The Ministry of Works and Infrastructure is moving ahead with a significant safety upgrade along the Sir Solomon Ho Choi Highway, transitioning from traditional cable barriers to high durability guard rails. Motorists traveling during off-peak hours may have noticed crews from the Highways Division working under floodlights as the project enters its latest phase. The overnight shifts are part of a strategic effort to minimize traffic congestion, according to the ministry, while meeting aggressive installation targets. Telling you, progress continues to take place under the Kamala Persad administration, you know. But as I keep saying over and over again, and I know people wondering why I'll say this every time in my reports, but I want the government to hear me at some point in time. I'm hoping and praying that they will hear me. The controversial statements and policies that you're implementing are overshadowing all this good that you are doing. The National Water Commission in Jamaica is working to ensure that 30,000 customers who remain without water following the disruptions caused by Hurricane Melissa are provided with access to the commodity in the shortest possible time. Yes, people, water is essential. Andrew Holness, Prime Minister, it really is important. Focus on the rural areas, please. The official said we expect to cut in half the number of persons without water within the next 3 weeks. Sounds reasonable. Minister of Water, Environment and Climate Change, Matthew Samuda, told JIS News. Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre has confirmed that the United States has called on St. Lucia to stop sending its nationals to study medicine in Cuba. I have a big problem. Many of our doctors got trained in Cuba, and now the great United States has said we can't do that any longer. Pierre told a weekend meeting of the Second World Congress on Racial and Ethnic Health Disparities. Now, at the end of the day, a lot of people might find it is unfair what the Trump administration is doing. But let's even put it this way. Even if you do think it's unfair, do you prefer to cause a rift between you and your biggest trading partner, America, or do you prefer to probably displease your Cuban neighbors? And probably, yes, it will probably affect you to an extent where your own citizens can't go and study medicine in Cuba. So it might be an inconvenience. But is it worth it to end up distancing yourself from the United States of America because of this policy that you agree with? That's what I'm thinking about. Minister of Public Works Bishop Juan Edgehill in Guyana criticized the main parliamentary opposition for either misreading or deliberately misrepresenting Budget 2026. I'm telling you, WIN and the PNC in Guyana are just like PNM here in Trinidad and Tobago. And basically, well, UNC now becoming like PNM too. But anyhow, he debunked the opposition's claims that the $1.588 trillion budget is mainly financed by oil revenue. Oil revenue is the backbone of Guyana's economy now, but they have done a lot of diversification as well. Rising in support of this year's National Fiscal Plan, Minister Edgehill praised the senior minister within the Office of the President with responsibility for finance, Dr. Ashni Singh, and his technical team for such a fantastic budget. I find it's quite impressive thus far. Belize and Guyana are moving to deepen cooperation in the sugar industry. I find they should try and bring Trinidad into that too. Belize Prime Minister John Bricino said on Monday during a sitting of the Belizean National Assembly attended by Guyana's President, Dr. Irfan Ali, probably the best leader in our region at this point in time. Reflecting on his shared history shaped by sugar production and colonial development, Prime Minister Bricino said the time has come to transition from those legacy models. Modernize it. That's good. President Dr. Irfan Ali has hailed Guyana's low and stable inflation rate as a success in a volatile global environment, crediting prudent macroeconomic management and targeted fiscal policies which have protected citizens' purchasing power. You see, purchasing power. While sustaining rapid economic growth, he wasn't placing the financial burdens upon the backs of his citizens, the way Kamala Pasabi-Sese is doing here in Trinidad right now. Speaking during a recent examination of the government's fiscal package for 2026 and performance of the economy, President Ali said that despite the challenges faced between the 2020 and 2021-22 era, along with global price surges, Guyana now enjoys one of the lowest inflation rates in the entire region. All give credit because of the Irfan Ali administration, the PPP Civic Party in Guyana. Now for the interesting facts segment, caregivers at Thistleton Lodge noticed that Ken Benbow, a 94-year-old World War II veteran, slept each night holding a framed photo of his late wife, Ada, whom he had been married to for 71 years. Wow. He spoke to her every evening, but staff worried the glass frame could injure him. One caregiver, Kia Maria Tobin, found a gentle solution: a custom pillow printed with Ada's photo. Soft and safe, it allowed Ken to hold his wife close every night. Can't get sweeter than that, people. Stories like this remind Americans and the rest of us here in the world that the most powerful care can often comes from empathy, not medicine. In the desert of Iraq, Kurdistan, a quiet act of compassion has inspired people around the world. Ishan Musin, a 69-year-old local resident walks through the harsh heat every day, carrying bottles of water to help wild animals survive. For more than 2 years, he has refilled 17 small water stations he placed across the desert, offering relief to birds, foxes, and other wildlife. Unlike what National Geographic and these other people that make documentaries do, which is just stand by and look at everything just fall apart. Videos of his routine went viral, showing animals calmly guarding near him. Nishan says he isn't a hero, just someone who believes every living being deserves care, even in the driest places. Closing off now with a travel segment. Dubai is a premier global tourist destination renowned for its futuristic skyline, luxury, and cultural fusion. It features record-breaking attractions like the Burj Khalifa, massive shopping malls, and pristine beaches along the Persian Gulf. It's not just about the malls and so forth. It's also about their beaches, their natural habitat. Visitors can experience desert safaris, diverse culinary scenes, and in the winter, a mix of adventure and relaxation. The winter months are most popular for outdoor activities, while summer offers for the former indoor, for the latter air-conditioned entertainment. The city is well connected with taxis, the metro, and boat tours, providing easy navigation. Definitely a place I would love to visit. Folks, that brings us to the end of today's news headlines. Thanks again to everyone who continues to support my content. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Stay blessed and stay safe most of all. In Jesus' name.